Hey everybody, it's Femtrooper, and today I'm going to be talking about my experience at Otafest 2017. So this past weekend was Otafest, and it's Calgary's anime convention, primarily anime, but also manga, Japanese culture, video games, that kind of stuff. It's really just exclusive to that. And I really like going now. This was my third time, and I'm really enjoying going. It's very, very small, way smaller than some of the big, massive conventions. But that's really cool because it actually feels very tight-knit and very exclusive to exactly what it's trying to do, which is anime, manga, Japanese culture. I was really excited in particular for Otafest this year because I've recently sort of just pulled out an old interest of mine, which is manga, and it's sort of resurfaced. I used to be really into manga all the time and go to the comic store and blah blah blah, and then I kind of lost track of it, to be honest. I mean, I've kept up with the odd anime over the years, but I've really just, I don't know, I just kind of lost touch with manga, and now I've really it's resurfaced, and I've found a whole new love for it, and I'm really happy. So just knowing that Otafest was sort of around the corner was making me really excited because it's focused on that, so there were definitely going to be vendors that had lots of manga for sale. Like any convention, Otafest has panels, guests, tons of exhibitors and vendors, and just tons of, that kind of stuff because it's a convention. And I decided to do two of the big main panels this year. I guess they'd be events more so, but one of them is Otafest Idol, and the other one is the cosplay contest / skit show, which is really fun. I actually really enjoyed Otafest Idol more than I thought I would this year. I missed it last year, so I was really excited I got to go. I only went to see the finalists. Next year, I think I'm going to go see all of it because I really enjoyed it. You can basically come up and sing sort of either anime theme songs or Japanese themes, like basically anything to do with kind of geek culture. So, you can come up and sing the theme song to your favorite anime, maybe sing like a J-pop song, anything kind of like that. No one's going to go up there and sing like Ariana Grande. It's not that kind of thing. The cosplay contest was really fun. Those are always awesome because they have different categories and everybody comes up and shows their costumes. The one thing though that is really hard is when you go to the cosplay contest at Otafest, I always notice that there's so many I don't know. And that's just because anime and manga is just so vast. It is like, wow, there are so many, you can't know all of them. It's just really hard. But I have to say, I'm getting better this year, and there's certain things that I'm more familiar now after talking with a lot of people on Twitter and just getting to know things and starting to read new series. So I'm really excited, and I want to show you a bunch of pickups that I got there. Not as many as I thought I was going to get, but I'll explain that. Overall, I really like Otafest. I really recommend it, actually. And if you're still, for some reason, a person who's never been, I really do recommend it. If you don't like anime and manga, I can understand maybe not having the interest, but at the same time, it's a fun convention. Like, you'll definitely find something there. The guests that they had this year were actually pretty cool, and I didn't go and meet them, but I mean, a little bit of regret, but I at least saw them. And those guests were Sailor Moon voice actors from the original English dub of Sailor Moon. And they had Tracy Moore, who is the original voice actress for Sailor Moon. I believe it was like around the first 10-ish episodes. So she was the first Serena that I ever heard. So I actually have to say I was sort of being creepy, and I was like standing near the booth, and I heard her say hi to somebody, and it was like straight up like, oh my god, Sailor Moon is just talking to that guy. So I heard her, and I was really excited. They also had the voice actors for Luna and Artemis, which was really neat. To be honest with you, as a huge Sailor Moon fan, and I say that because I've seen every season, all 5 even stars, Terry Hawks would be the person that I would definitely like pay to meet and like have her sign stuff because she is my Sailor Moon, and I love the original voice actress, the Japanese voice actress, and I forget her name, so bad of me, because she continued on, even did Crystal, and I love, actually, to be honest, I've heard more Sailor Moon in Japanese now than I have in English, so that's weird, but I just, nostalgia and just the fact that Sailor Moon is the gateway anime for me. It was what sort of made me love Japan, because it's sort of the first anime I ever saw. So seeing Tracy Moore there, though, was pretty cool. Just seeing her, and I don't know, it was kind of like childhood right there. So before I show you my pickups, I will just say that, yeah, Otafest is really, really cool festival. Just so cool that we have such a big festival here, like convention in Calgary, for something so niche like that. And I know I say this every time, but I'm going to say it again and again. It is really cool knowing that there's so many other people who live where you do that like what you do. That's not something you get at the Calgary Expo or big conventions, because they're so mainstream that, you know, you just see everybody there. When you go to Otafest, it truly is like, these are, you feel like, I don't know, you just feel like these are people who, they get it. They get the stuff I like that maybe other people don't get. I will also note quickly that Otafest just announced that next year they're going to be in May, and I'm really happy about that. I am a little critical of the whole Canada Day weekend thing. For those of you guys who don't know, Canada turned 150 this year, and every year, obviously, July 1st is Canada's birthday, just like July 4th in the US. But this year, it was 150, so big deal. The whole country was like, you know, freaking out. You know, every 50 years, it's always a big deal, so milestone, right? But Otafest is on Canada Day weekend. Otafest is also held downtown. And what else? What do you think's going on downtown on Canada Day? Well, Canada Day celebrations. It's like being downtown probably on, you know, the 4th of July somewhere in the US. It's just busy. People are out and about, and there's food trucks, and there's performances, and there's things, and I just feel like, and there's an anime convention. So it kind of gets a little awkward because it's so busy down there already, and this year it was worse because it's Canada 150. And I will say, I love Canada Day, and I get really excited to go downtown and check out all the festivities and stuff. So it's hard because you want to do Otafest, but you also want to do Canada Day. So I'm really glad that it's not on Canada Day next year. It's at the May long weekend, so that's just my criticism. I'm not a huge fan of Otafest being on during Canada Day, because you're like, I want to go to Otafest, but also want to go downtown and check out things. So yeah, especially this Canada Day. Without further ado, let's show off my pickups. First up, we've got Chobits Volume 1 Omnibus. I've always wanted to read Chobits. It's an older manga, obviously, now, but I always remember it from when I was younger, and I actually have read a little bit of it. I don't know how far I got, but I read maybe the first volume-ish. I remember sitting in chapters once, and I just straight up read a bunch of it. So, and I think I may have seen some episodes, but regardless, I've always wanted this because I do like Clamp a lot. So yeah, this is just one that I've wanted to get, and it was a really good deal, actually, from a really cool comic store that's in Calgary called Comikaze. So I recommend them. They're really cool, and actually, they probably had, yeah, I'd say they probably had the best deals for manga there, which was great. And you're supporting local business, so I was really happy with that. Before I show off other pickups, I'm just going to comment on sort of the vendors at Otafest and my take, because this year I was really focused on manga hunting. I'm a little disappointed, I guess. So there were manga sort of spread out, but there were 4 major vendors. Comikaze was one, and they were probably the best in terms of just they're a local comic store. There's lots of comic stores in Calgary, but they're the one that came, and they brought tons of stuff. It was all alphabetical, very well displayed, and really good deals because they had things where they were cheaper than US cover price, which is a really big deal because paying Canadian cover price, bleh. There was another vendor that had nothing in alphabetical order, but they had really good deals, and so I decided to go through everything and just kind of look through, and I did find a bunch of stuff, which is great. But the one thing that was frustrating, I will comment on this, is that I found that besides Comikaze, most of the vendors were just kind of like old random manga, and nothing's in alphabetical order, which is hard as if you're browsing. And also, it's hard because they'll have like I was looking for a bunch of stuff. For example, I really wanted to find After School Charisma. It's one that I've just looks really cool to me. I really want to check it out. And I found a bunch of After School Charisma kind of spread out, but I couldn't find volume 1. It was like, okay, there's volume 3, there's volume 9, there's volume 7. It's like all over the place, but there's no like, it's not like when you go to a bookstore and it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So that was a little frustrating because there was another vendor that had a like really old manga. The reason I knew it was old because everything was like Tokyo Pop, and I'm like, oh man, I feel like I'm in a store in like 2003, which is great if you're looking for older stuff. But again, it was not some of the stuff I was looking for today or this weekend. So yeah, that was just sort of my criticism. Is I wish more comic stores locally would participate, and I also wish more video game chains and just vendors would participate, because there were some people there selling video games, but not that much. And the other thing is, I wish there were more T-shirt vendors. There were a couple, but not a ton. I kind of wanted to get like, I don't know, like a cool like Assassination Classroom T-shirt or something, but there just wasn't that there. Like, I don't know, I'd like to see more chains or vendors or local businesses come out and, you know, go to Otafest, support Otafest. So it is growing, and I'm hoping that next year they'll have even more more vendors there, because that would be great. That's what I'm looking for. Next up on my pickups list is one that I'm actually really excited to show off, because I just started it today, and I think I only have like 20 pages left. I don't know how I've not finished it, but I'll finish it today. It's Inuyashiki, and I don't want to botch that, so I'm hoping saying that correctly. But this is awesome. This is really, really good. Not at all... Actually, I shouldn't say that. I was going to say not at all what I would normally pick up, but after reading this seems way more up my alley. I've been reading a lot of sort of like, you know, the typical manga where somebody's in junior high and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, I don't know. I feel like as an adult, I'm not really as interested in stories like that anymore, but this is really interesting. Way more mature. Very, very, very cool. I'm really enjoying this. Just based off what I've read, this is really cool. And I mean, the artwork in this is really neat. I mean, this is not your typical sort of Shonen Jump kind of stuff here. So really liking this, and I can definitely recommend it. Next up is just a bunch of Assassination Classroom volumes. I kind of just saw whatever they had and bought it. So I got a whole bunch, and not the one I needed, actually. There was a vendor there who had all the new stuff, but they were just doing Canadian cover price, and I feel like I come to a convention for a deal, so I want a deal. Like, I want the guy selling these for $10 or $8. I don't want to just pay Canadian cover price, because Canadian cover price is more than US, and I just feel like, what's the point? I'd rather just... I know it's a local business, but at the same time, it's like, you know, I'm trying to save money too here, and I'm enjoying these books, so I didn't buy from them, but I did find a bunch of these at one of the vendors, and actually some at Kamikaze as well. And yeah, really, I love this series. This is great. This is really enjoyable. Completely different than the last one I showed you, but there's something just really fun about it, and I love the main character, Koro Sensei. It's just great. So as much as I wanted to actually buy more manga, and I had this huge list, and I was going over with friends on Twitter, I'm like, what should I buy? And I only bought those, and you think, why would I only buy that? Starters, I couldn't find some of them. And the other reason is I've got enough here. I kind of feel like I don't want to buy anymore, because I used to do that with video games. Oh, cool, 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 cool. Then my shelf would just grow, and then it's like, well, I'm not playing any of these games, so that's stupid. I want to finish what I have, you know, maybe go through. I don't want to have like 10 series going. I feel like that's ridiculous. So I want to read what I have and then go from there. So I want to catch up on Assassination Classroom. I definitely have a lot here. I'm really into Inuyashiki. I'm definitely going to buy more of that. And I actually just started reading Doubt, and I'm really enjoying that. There's only one more volume, so I'm good to go. I'm going to keep it going from there, because I don't want to I don't want to have like 12 volume ones, and then it's too much. It's too overwhelming. So I'm good with this. Those are my thoughts on Otafest 2017. Really fun. I can't wait till next year. I think it's going to be great. I believe it's the 20th anniversary. Really cool. I love these kind of conventions. They're fun. Maybe I'll dress up. It's hard because most of the things I dress up as aren't usually from anime or manga. They're always from either superheroes or movies or something, so I usually don't dress up as anime characters, but maybe next year I can. There was a guy dressed up as Ryuk from Death Note, and it was like fabulous. So it made me go like, ooh, I kind of want to do a Ryuk cosplay. That would probably be really hard, but it's got me all excited. So Otafest, awesome. Keep up the good work. I'm really enjoying you as a convention. Each year I sort of get more and more involved, and in terms of like exploring and checking out everything that it has to offer, and I'm just having a really good time. So I'm so glad that it's a thing in the city and that we don't just have the big convention, because much as I love the big convention, I really like the little one too, and it's really good and it's growing. I will see you guys next time, and I'm also hoping maybe to start doing sort of some manga videos. I don't know what you guys think about that. Leave your thoughts in the comment, but if you guys like manga and I'm starting to read more manga now, maybe it's worth it for me to start doing a what I'm reading series or something. So I'll see you guys later in the next video.